So I don't have a real backstory about the name, nothing really interesting, but I was taught is there was two other friends of mine who were studying when we were 16 in an art school, and one of them already knew a bit about graffiti, so he just took us to paint with him, and we started like the three of us painting. Like every weekend we'd go just to a legal spot and we'd just start painting the three of us together. We even created a crew called God, G-O-D, Graph or Die. Very badass for 16 years old. But the thing is, they both stopped, and I'm the only one that continues. So, yeah. So I'm from southeast suburbs of Paris, and I've moved a lot. Now I'm in London, so yeah, between Paris and London. They both have different things. For spots, mostly, I think now I prefer Paris most because of the rooftops. I got used to the access to the view and to the buildings, but I mean, back when I was here, it was mostly the track sides, mostly trains, outside tracks, because in Paris, when you go in Paris, it's the metro, and metro is underground. It's nice too, but too many goes there, too many people go there, too many people paint it. So in the end, nothing really interesting. It's not what I was really looking for. I wanted to be seen, to be somewhere where there's not too many people. So I found the hot spots, the high one. I think Paris is better for that. But here, it's different ambience. Here, there's not that many rollers, so you can paint more, like top, like being high, and not really having to climb anything. You just can be from the floor and paint high. Because in Paris, it's very taken, like everyone's doing rollers there. It's more in the culture, so at least, yeah, I had to find another way, so I went to the rooftop. So they both have different space, they both have their peaks, so really hard to say. I used to paint a lot with cans since I started, and with a friend of mine in Paris, we started to discover some abandoned place. So it was very nice to go to these just virgin spots, abandoned, no graphs, nothing. So we just like, it was like an open book, and we could just paint anything. So I kind of specialized in that in Paris, because yeah, I had friends that were doing it. I find it more interesting rather than going every week to the same legal spot that is going to be covered. So I had that, but when I came here in London, a lot of these things are very far from London. Abandoned estates, abandoned warehouses, stuff like that. So I didn't have a car here, so I kind of stuck to the vandal. So yeah. And we started painting rollers a lot, and then from that, like we just did it over and over. So here I prefer rollers, in France I prefer cans. I mean, I guess it depends on the spots. But yeah, it's two different things. One I do more for having fun, spending the day, painting with cans, like chilling with friends, and the other one is more like nighttime job, going out in the evening, just painting. Yeah, and staying just for the spots, a few hours during the night, and then we go down and yeah. It's different. So for vandal, it's rollers. For legal, it's cans, I guess. Here in London, for example, the roller was not really accepted at first. I don't know why, it's not in the culture. Everyone's like painting with cans, chromes and stuff like that. I just started to do it actually here with Man, and like a week after it was covered. So basically, I had other things to do, like I'm lazy. So obviously I prefer to do something that's gonna last through time. So that's when we started to do rollers. So I met Man, and we just continued doing it because it pissed people off. Didn't like it. So we were like outshining them because we were doing bigger above them. And then I don't know, we kind of made our way like that. So it's kind of cool. The thing that takes the most of our pieces is generally buff or construction. So they're either destroying the buildings, either construction in front of it. So there's some funny parts I like about London, for example. It's just a building over and over and over. So our pieces are not really destroyed, they're like behind two buildings, and it's just gonna stay for years and decades. Maybe when one of the buildings gonna, I don't know, fall or anything, the thing is still gonna be there. So it's quite nice to know that. Yeah, we know it's still there, you know, like even if it's not visible at all, just for us, it's nice to know that it was there. For me, every painting counts. It's not like it's not like I'm doing the same one every time and doing it over and over. Like some people do it like that. It's another way of painting. I have friends that do that. It's fun. But my way is more like I see each roll as an artistic painting, kind kind of painting I'm doing, and so I see them every roller as a history, as a background, as a backstory, and there's things related to that. Yeah, I remember all of them just because I know which one I did, what the color I used, how we got access to the spots. I don't have memory of all of the nights, obviously, but I like to have this backstory, so I prefer to be more selective in my spots and just go do one. It's gonna be good, it's gonna stay, rather than just doing lots. For me, it's like that. I really see graffiti as art. For me, it's both. It's vandal and art, and for me, just I think it came from this thing of painting on virgin walls and abandoned spots, where you really get the ambience of where you are. You actually, you take everything from it and you react. Like, I don't really plan my paintings anymore. Like I used to when I started graffiti. I used to draw sketches, and then I just stopped. Now it's just like improvisation. So I kind of like seeing what part of the wall I like, not taking the easy ones. I don't like having just a blank wall. I try to be more, I don't know, selective in the weird walls, the real. You can feel that there's like texture, there's story, there's something behind. So I think it came from that aspect of graph, and then now I took it out to vandal spots. And thanks to Man here, Man knows a lot about history and references about the places we've been to. So it tells me a lot. Also, it adds to the charisma and the history of the spots in general. It's nice. I think it's really important for me now. It's the history of the spots we're painting. And the impact also. The impact. We're looking a lot for kind of impactful spots. It's things it's gonna be like a bestseller. We know it's gonna be seen, so it's cool. There's some other spots we just pick because we like the ambience, we like the story behind it. So it's not always the best ones, like as a visibility, but it's good for, I don't know, for the thing we live there. It's something sentimental, like having a rooftop not too far from where I used to live in London. It's a very small rooftop, but I like it. I like the story. It was close to where I used to live. Now my friend works in front of it. It's cool. But I like having this. It's one of the things of why I started graffiti. I like to show that I was there. To show to my friends, for example. So it was not even related to graffiti, the people in graffiti in general. It was more about my friends. If they could see me somewhere in the really incredible spots, they would be like, "Oh, I saw you there. For me, it's the interesting part of it. That's why I would prefer to have the recognition of my friends and families than the graffiti people in general. I didn't care about them. It wasn't made for that. I was not into graffiti at all. Graffiti environment. For me, as material, for example, it's one of the things I like with rollers is we use paint. Paint we find. So we here in London we tend to find a lot of paints. I don't know why people just throw these big buckets in the streets. There's so much. I remember once we were going with man to spots and there was maybe 10 tins on the floor on the way, and we just found them and just used them. So just like that, like we find them, we go to recycling centers, we go to second-hand shops, find like the cheapest ones, and really it's very random. It changes my way of painting because I don't pick my colors before. I just pick the one I found, so it's not like spray cans. And I like this kind of constraint. So it's just like you don't have choice, so you use what you have. And that's what I do for choosing my paint, for example. Just like I pick the best matching colors for the ones we found, so they're very random. And for me, it added something for sure for a lot of my pieces here in London. In France, it's mostly whites and yellows that you find. Not really interesting, but as here, you can find any kind of color. So I have red, pinks, purples. I don't know what people do with them, but maybe they were not happy with them. That's why they throw them away. But I guess it's better for us. So recycling was for me. It's not really recycling, but using again some secondhand paint we found. Like it was good for 2-3 things. Like it was economic for sure. Obviously, you're not gonna complain about free paint. It was good for the randomness of it. Like I like not having to pick colors because there's too many colors. When you buy spray can, for example, there's big choice in general. And for like, picking paint like that, so you added something. You added a challenge, a kind of challenge, like, having to deal with the colors you find. And then another thing is actually the toxicity of it. Like this kind of paint is not as toxic as spray cans can be on lines. Apparently, we don't have a lot of information about that, but I'm sure like painting every day, every 2-3 days with spray cans at one point. If you don't wear a mask all the time, you're just gonna fuck up your lungs. So yeah, and no, actually another point, it's silence. It's silence when you paint with it. Like as spray cans, you have to shake them, you have to spray, you hear the noise. Like with rollers, which is like very quiet. It's the peak of it's how could I say that? Like it's big and heavy in general, so like that's the annoying part of it, like carrying the big things. But apart from that, it's just like silence, very silent when we're painting. Except for the noise of the opener, when you just open the tin, the paint. After that, like, there's no noise, we're just like rolling against the wall, it's very silent. So I kind of like that too, it's one of the things. I'm more like a graphic designer who paints based on wall with having the graffiti environment, like making a mix between graffiti and graphic design, like typography and fonts in general, and even paintings, just painting in general. So yeah, I see myself more as a... When I do Vendel, it's hard to see yourself as an artist, because you know it's just something that's not worth anything. I don't know if as an artist everything's supposed to be worth something, but I mean it's not something people ask, it's not something, it's not someone's ordering me or asking me to paint something, it's me just painting walls like that, so yeah. So it's, I don't know if it's, I'm an artist, but I'm related to art in any way, so I don't know. Well, I don't feel as an artist, like accomplished as an artist yet. I don't think it's satisfying me enough. I'm on other projects, so they're gonna make me have more, let's say, I have more pride in my work, because graffiti is always just graffiti. In the end, it's not that a big deal. Like, it's cool to do it, but it's very ephemeral. Like, it doesn't last in time. That's why I try to find these weird spots where I know that it can last. But yeah, for me, it's not really an accomplishment as an artist yet. But maybe I hope to be one day, a real artist. Maybe not graffiti artist, but just artist. Or maybe not artist, but just something, I don't know, a creator. Like, to be honest, I do a lot of different things. Like I do some tattoos, graphic design, typography, paintings in general, and I don't know if there's a name for that, or like creative, maybe just a creative, you know, like just someone who has ideas and wants to apply them, so whatever the means, whatever the tools. So that's why I can be changing between a brush, a paintbrush, a spray can, or a roller. Like, if I can change the maximum of it, so I can test anything, I'll do it. So yeah, just maybe a creative rather than an artist. I'm saying like for me, it became a real thing about rollers here by not choosing the colors. For me, I think it's part of the difficulty of it. As all of the other writers, they pretend to steal the cans, but they don't. So this graffiti attitude. Like, I don't care about buying them because I buy them like once a year, and the rest is just paint I find. And it's even better to imagine all of the weird mixes I could make with this paint. Sometimes I just carry like 10 small ones on the rooftop. When I'm there, I mix on a tray. So just recycling, and I think I became quite good at colors thanks to that, because I tried a lot with different colors. I've been using cans and colors all of my life. Then it came to this where I know how to paint. I paint on the side. So mixing, it's kind of choosing in cans, and then when you're not happy with it anymore, you just mix it with another one, and you have a different color, and that's what I like. I was not really attached to the paint I was finding, because I didn't pay for it. It wasn't something precious. So I could do anything with it, so mixing them on the wall, making some effects, like carrying 10 different colors and make gradients and stuff like that. It became even more interesting to do not have a choice. I think, yeah, reusing paints, reusing whatever I've been finding, but just, yes, I think it's one of the most important parts of the role here. It's half of it is typography, and the other half is colors. But just knowing that I never chose them, it's quite, I think it's quite nice. It's satisfying. I think really with most with the paint we use, it's chemical still, but you know, there's some is water based. Actually, there could be obviously better chemical choices. I think compared to spray cans, for me, I prefer it like 10 times. I don't use now anymore to paint with cans in a closed room, closed warehouse. When you feel high at the end of the day. There was so much, like when there's so much spray in here. It's fucked. As when I paint just with the roller. Like, just clean, no smell, nothing. So that's part of the things of reusing all that time. My crew, LTB in Paris, with some outsiders that are away, and then IMG here in London with all of my immigrants friends. And yeah, so hi to everyone.